Wish I got a watch. I got a game. On Wish I got headphones with a big brand name.
What's going on, you guys? Kid me on the camera here. And today I wanted to do a different kind of video. Today, I wanted to make a video explaining to all of you guys what happened to Tina. You know, it's a big controversy going on right now with my channel about Tina and how suddenly she disappeared from the channel last year, and a lot of people don't really know why. And admittedly, I didn't do a good enough job explaining to you guys the entire story, the entire situation. I didn't explain to you what was happening, and I didn't fill everybody in. So I decided that that's what I was going to do today. This is the story about what happened with Tina. And by the way, if you don't know who she is... watch this. Right off the bat, I want to say that Tina was a good friend. Despite everything that happened and everything that was said, Tina was somebody that we could count on. She was crazy. She always came through. I considered her a friend. And then everything happened, and it all snowballed, and everything got out of control, and we were no longer friends. And maybe I'm part of the blame. Maybe I'm part of the blame for that. Maybe I could have done things differently than I did, and for that I am sorry. You know, to Tina, I am sorry. Maybe I handled things like a kid instead of like a man. But at the same time, so did you. Things got out of control really fast, and unfortunately, we are no longer friends because of it. The first part of this story is more of a cautionary tale for people who actually want to do YouTube. You know, one of the things that's going to happen if you start to gain any kind of traction on this platform is you're going to develop some haters. And we're not talking about people who just leave horrible comments. We're not talking about people who just don't like you and tweet you bad stuff. We're talking about haters that decide to try to profit off of you. People who decide to open channels, and the only thing that they do is piggyback on your success and try to talk about you to build a fan base off of your hard work. Because what they'll do is tap into the other haters, and that will become their fan base. And it really stems from the fact that they don't really have enough creativity to turn themselves into a character or a channel or something that people want to watch. So instead, they just talk crap. And that works. People enjoy it. A lot of people love shit talkers. I'm just not one of them. Now, the reason I'm bringing up haters making videos about you if you start doing YouTube is that's exactly what happened with Tina. That was the beginning of the end, because all through 2016, Tina was obsessed with these channels. What were they saying? Why were they talking about her? Everything that they were doing, and I would keep reminding her, Tina, these people don't matter. And you guys, I'm here to tell you that if you do a YouTube and these people start making videos about you, they don't matter. They're only tapping into your haters. They're not tapping into the people that actually care about you and that love you. Those people are going to look at what these people are saying and say, yeah, that's bull. And that's exactly what it is, and that's why I never responded to them. Guys, I don't respond to those people. Because if I respond to a bunch of lies, I'm just going to give a whole bunch of views to a channel that never deserved it in the first place, when there's so many channels out there that are trying to grow that deserve the spotlight a lot more than somebody lying about me. So I choose not to respond. And that's what I told Tina. I would tell her, listen, who cares? And she would say she understands. All right, I got it. I'll stop. Dropped. Forget it. And the next day, Joe Schmo 47 said this about me. And I would say, Tina, the video's got 12 views. So what? Who's watching it? But she always took it to heart, and she always cared. And it got to the point where me and Dad finally had to just make a video defending her just in case she needed it. So the other night, Grandpa took a fall, and he really hurt himself. And I told him to go to the hospital, and he wouldn't. And it was all because this guy was saying lies.
He is not going to hurt Tina. I'm going to see to it. Michael and Bridget are going to see to it. And I know you youngins are not going to let him pull this shit no more on Tina. So yeah, I need the help of the youngins.
I kept telling her. Tina, please do not use this video unless you need it, because this is going to give this person a lot of attention. So don't use it in case you need it. She kept thinking she needed it, and I kept telling her, you don't need it. This guy's got no views, he's got no audience, he's just talking. Forget it. Why are you paying it any attention? And it never occurred to her that freaking out like this is what's giving them their power. It became really apparent to all of us that there was nothing that we could do to change Tina's mind. That all of these channels were coming after her, and there was nothing that we could do to stop it. So I came up with the idea for Tina to start feeding these channels misinformation. And she started reaching out to all these hater channels, and she started talking to them privately, and she started giving them fake information, and they would report it. Angry Grandpa a peanut wagon for Christmas, and it was a whole thing. We would laugh about it. And I started to notice that there was a change. And I think what happened is she started to feel important. She was talking to these haters, and they would laugh at our jokes, and they would talk about us, and along the line, she went from an undercover agent to just being another hater. Everything that me and Bridget thought was going to happen eventually happened. Because come January, there was a leaked podcast that came out, Tina talking about us.
I know the recap that clown video. I broke it. He calls people filthy names. Little kids will be saying, AGP, I don't know how I would have got through this. You're like a grandfather to me. He said, go fuck yourself and throw it in the garbage.
Now, it's important to know she didn't know that this was being recorded, and somebody recorded it privately and put it on the internet, but that's not what's important. What's important is it was being talked about us behind our backs, and we never did that to Tina. We had Tina's back from day one. She just didn't think that we did because we kept telling her to ignore everything. But if she would have just listened to me, I was telling her to ignore it for her own benefit, so she wouldn't get like this, so she wouldn't be so afraid. Tina, if you would have just listened to me, none of this would have happened. If you would have just listened to me, I wouldn't have had to hear you on a podcast talking about how you assaulted my father on purpose. I would have had to hear you talk about egging my house, and I had to file a police report. I could have been the bigger man. I could have listened to that podcast, driven over to Tina's house and talked to her and said, hey, let's work this out because this is stupid. I could have done that. Instead, I decided to act like a boy. Instead of acting like a man, I decided to act like a boy, and I decided to say screw it and cut Tina off. I decided that we were done with her. And in hindsight, that was a stupid thing to do. And Tina, I apologize. I should have talked to you. And look, I'm not apologizing that we caught you talking about us, but I do apologize about how I reacted to the situation, how I didn't just go up to you and talk about it and say, hey, this can't happen anymore. I should have done that, but I didn't, and things happened the way they happened. I decided to write Tina off, and that just wasn't the right move. Once she saw the writing on the wall that we were done with her, she decided to go public and make a channel of her own. And on that channel, she would say that we were fake and that we weren't. One video on my vlogging channel, and on that video, I showed text messages, and I showed clips, and I showed
right there.
That's what this video's about. If you're wondering why I'm telling you everything that happened between me and Tina, well, there's a reason. Because in the next video, this Friday, I'm confronting Tina.
Comment below.